Godzilla, King of the Monsters is the 1956 English release of a 1954 Japanese film with a similar title, but not quite the same. The Japanese title of the film was Gojira, which is a combination of the words Gorilla and Gojira, which mean gorilla and whale, in Japan. This film is considered to be the first of the genre of kaiju in Japan. Now, kaiju films are films that feature giant monsters as a big plot point, or even sometimes as the protagonist, as seen in later Godzilla films. The way that Godzilla is portrayed in this film is that of a giant prehistoric sea monster that was reawakened by the explosions of the nuclear bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. In a way, you could say that Godzilla is being used to show the destruction that the United States caused to Japan during World War II. Now, with a terrible monster being used to represent the United States in this film, you're probably wondering, how did they handle that in the English version of the film that was brought over by Hollywood? Did they completely change the film, getting rid of all references to the nuclear bombs, or did they continue with it but change the disasters? Not really. They still kept some stuff based around the atomic bomb causing Godzilla's appearance, but it was kind of downplayed in the English version, so much so that it didn't really have the same impact. But there is one thing they did with the American version of the film that completely changed things and made things really different. They recorded scenes with a completely new character to make the film more relevant to American audiences. This new character was Steve Martin, played by Raymond Burr, who was added to the film as a sort of surrogate to kind of give the American audiences eyes to look through and be able to understand what was happening in the film better. A strange way that they get around him not acting with the characters is to just kind of have somebody who has a slight resemblance to the actor who played the original character face away from the camera while talking with him. There's a few examples of this. I'll show one right here.
Emiko!
Steve Martin. Are you badly hurt?
After last night, I'm lucky to be alive.
There was a very clear cut there where it showed the actor playing Emiko in the original Japanese film, and then it just cuts to the back of someone else's head wearing a very similar outfit that is a different outfit. Even with the new shots with new actors to keep Raymond Burr with the old characters, they still had to find a way to translate scenes that had a lot of people talking, and this is how they did that.
いろいろどうも原因は何でしょう全然見当がつきませんまるで明
Mind telling me what they're discussing?
いきなり
That's right, instead of just translating the scenes into English or putting up subtitles, they have him ask a guy that he's hanging out with, hey, can you tell me what they're saying? I guess it's effective, but it doesn't really fit too well. I mean, he's a reporter, so you'd think that the place that he's going to, he would know the language of. But, hey, it's however they want to do it. And that's not the only time they do it, either.
I'm afraid my Japanese is a little rusty.
This makes Raymond Burr's character in this film seem very reminiscent of a character from another film. Oh yeah, it's Nick Carraway from The Great Gatsby. With Raymond Burr's character kind of being a lens to see the film through, you kind of lose some of the emotion that was present in the original Japanese version. A good example is a scene that I'm about to show you. I'll show you the Japanese version first, and then I'll show you the American version.
There would be no tomorrow. I don't know how many hours went by before an auxiliary hospital unit found me. I knew it was daylight. I was surprised to be alive. The odor of scorched flesh permeated the air. The sight of all the helpless human wreckage snapped me back to stark reality.
As you can see, the voiceover and the fact that the film doesn't even really focus on the little girl crying kind of makes the scene lose impact, where it had a lot of impact to begin with. And the loss of impact can be said about this film as a whole, with the addition of Raymond Burr's character. The American version of this film isn't bad by any means, but it definitely doesn't have the same impact as the Japanese version. It's sort of a lackluster version of the masterpiece, and if you're going to watch any version of this film, I would definitely recommend watching the Japanese version. If you insist on watching both, definitely watch the Japanese version first, because it's the one that has more impact and it's just so much better to watch. Thank you for watching.